Welcome back to the City Current Radio Show. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're always honored to bring you inspiring stories of individuals and organizations making a difference, empowering the good. And we're honored to talk about the MidSouth Employee Resource Network. We are joined by Stacy McCall, President and CEO of ServiceMaster by Stratos, and Kathy Bradshaw, Director of Human Resources with Trezevant Episcopal Home. Both of them are part of the MidSouth ER network, and the companies are a part of this that you will learn all about. But let's start out. Stacy, Kathy, how are you two lovely ladies doing?
Well, great.
So let's go ahead and dive in. Stacy, let's start with you. Give us a little backstory in terms of what led you as companies to come together to form the MidSouth Employee Resource Network.
Jeremy, it was really exciting in 2017 to have a gentleman named James Vanderhulst come in town and talk about a concept where employers could add to the health and welfare of their employees. And he had started what is called an employer resource network that was licensed, and you could have that license in your local service area where your marketplace was. And he had a system that would help employers ramp up and be able to meet the needs of their employees. And we had an opportunity to have him hosted by the Assisi Foundation when they brought him to town in 2017. And then a nonprofit, which most people have heard of here locally in Memphis, Hope Works, Ron Wade raised his hand and said, I will hold the license so that we can create this great benefit for employers in Memphis. And so that's how our first introduction happened. And they asked employers to raise their hand, and the ball started rolling then.
And so, Kathy, give us a description. When you talk about the ERN, the MidSouth ERN, go ahead and walk through exactly what it means and walk through this process, the programs.
Okay, currently we have 9 companies that are members of the organization. And the Success Coach, what they do is they really help our employees deal with their own problems, such as housing, medical issues, the transportation, cars, if they had repairs that they had to have done. A lot of these things can prohibit an employee from coming to work. And we're just so proud of this program and our success coaches that we have. We have 2 currently right now. And our employees, they really look forward to when they come to Trezevant on their day. But they're just there for them. And we just really see a need, especially in Memphis. There's all kinds of needs that our employees have. And some of them we don't even know.
And so the beauty is you have the companies coming together to pool resources, to share costs, so to speak. And so you have success coaches that then your employees have access to. Carry that forward, Kathy, on your end, because as you mentioned, they come to you. So there's a physical component of being, together, but they have access. And so talk about kind of how the magic works with the employees having access to the success coaches.
Okay, our success coach, she comes on Tuesdays. And if we hear, or a manager hears of a need, or if it's not a Tuesday and we hear it during the week, we can contact the success coach. Our success coaches have resources within the community that they're so entrenched in the Mid-South and all the various programs such as MIFA. There was money out for COVID if you were impacted by COVID, or housing, there's just a myriad of things that are available to them. Our employees will come and they will talk to them. It's very confidential. It's really another arm of an EAP, I would say. And but they trust them. They know it's confidential, and they know that it's something that will not be broadcasted throughout the company. And I think that's a big component of it, that they trust the coach, that they can kind of go out and talk to them. And the beauty of it, what we found is if somebody's in a financial crisis and say they need a bridge loan, we partnered with Southern Security Federal Credit Union, and they have access to that. But before they can do that, they have to bring in the proof what the issue is, but then they have to go through budgeting classes. So it's they kind of get some other skills, not just dealing with the problems, but it's skills that they can take on throughout life.
Stacy, we've had a chance to interview you multiple times on the radio show and TV shows and such, and you do so much to support your team. And I think this is one more layer in terms of giving them access to resources and obviously success coaches that can really help them. Talk about, for you, ServiceMaster by Stratos, what attracted you to be a part of this and how have you seen it be helpful for your team?
Jeremy, you're exactly right. We know that we have to take care of our people that are within our organization if we're ever going to have a hope that they take care of our customer. There's some essential needs that have to be met. If they are so stressed about what is happening at home, they can't function at work, then we know that we've got to, whatever that stressor is, try to eliminate it. And one of the things that was causing a tremendous amount of stress was we knew that there were needs that need to be met, but we didn't know how to meet them. And Memphis is a philanthropic city, but being able to connect those dots to those resources for our people, we just didn't have the breadth of knowledge. And so our success coaches have been doing that for years and have that network that they can call on. And our management was so upset because they would see a tragedy or they would hear a need and not be able to meet the need. Now, immediately, the first thing that we ask is, have they called Kiva? And they'll go, yes, I've already sent Kiva's contact information. I've already sent Coretta's contact information. It is amazing how our people immediately now think of the success coaches and their network to try to help meet a need. And during this COVID times, there are so many needs. And this is not just for our service partner, it's for their family. If their family is in financial stress, if their family has health situations, our success coaches are talking to them in the hospital. They are helping make funeral arrangements. They are doing everything that they can possibly do to relieve the stress associated with being here during this tremendous time of trial that we've all found ourselves in.
What's been the personal feedback, either from the leadership side in terms of being able to pass them in the right direction, which obviously that feels good, knowing, okay, I don't know how to handle that, but the success coach does. And so there's a feeling there of opportunity, but also on your end, just from the employees, from your team, your service partners, what have they given you as feedback?
It's been interesting because when I have an opportunity, I'll hear someone in the office and I'll speak to them. I said, have you talked to Kiva? Oh, yes, I talked to her the other day and we're doing this and this and this. Or, oh, Kiva, they light up. And so you can tell the relationships that are being developed because of the positive responses. And then the referral. Oh, yes, I told so-and-so that Kiva had helped me or Coretta had helped me. So I told them they needed to call Kiva and I sent her contact information. So it's like that referral network. That referral network is running on its own now. It's not something that has to be forced or reminded. It's like the passing of information is happening organically. It's not forced, which then shows me that it's being received positively and it's something that is being utilized extremely well within our organization. And one thing I'll point out, Jeremy, is the members of the ERN, we formed our own company at the first of the year. And that's how we're able to start adding more success coaches. The more companies that join the organization, the more opportunities we can create. And our organizations are very varied as far as the type that are part of the ERN. You've heard what my organization was, what Kathy's organization. We have Answering Advantage. It's an answering service that has a smaller footprint employee base, all the way up to M. Palazola, and then you have Dillard Door, that we are very diverse. So when people start saying, well, could I be part of an employee resource network like that? our group shows how diverse it can be. Diverse from an employee base, diverse from what type of companies and what services they provide. And so it really speaks to a wide breadth, whether it's financial literacy, whether it is we all need help managing our finances, whether it's a relationship with something like an organization like Southern Security and Bridge Loans, because what we've all realized over this COVID period of time, no one goes untouched right now in some part of their life that they could not use assistance from individuals like success coaches.
Yeah. Before we bounce to Kathy, give us a little bit of a teaser on ServiceMaster by Stratos, because you've been on before, but just for those who don't have the context, give them a little elevator pitch for ServiceMaster by Stratos.
Okay, so if you don't know me, we're part of a logistical people business. We service customers in the local marketplace and then in the MidSouth. And our customer base spans from event and venue to educational, to the traditional office and complexes. And so we are people business, and that everything we do is surrounding our people so that we can serve our customers each and every day. So that's who we are, ServiceMaster by Stratos.
And then Kathy, go ahead and dovetail on that. Give listeners a little bit of idea when you talk about Trezevant Episcopal Home, give them a little bit of background on your end.
Okay, we are a retirement community that consists of independent living, assisted living, skilled, and memory care. And we're a people business too. Our residents, especially during this difficult time, depend on our employees. So it was really important for us to make sure that we were giving them some tools to assist them with their problems at home so that they could come and work for us. We have lots of great residents and lots of great employees.
And just looking at the stats already for 2020, over 1,300 services rendered, 376 served, a 613% ROI for the member companies. So when you talk about pouring into your team and that being able to really help your organization thrive, when you take care of your people, then you can take care of your customers. And so carry that conversation forward, Kathy, on your end in terms of the ROI side and why businesses really should look at this seriously as an opportunity to engage.
We just really feel like with the cost of turnover, if we can keep 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 of those people here, I'm telling you what, it is really, it's a wonderful thing. And we just are so proud of what we've been able to accomplish. But it has been a team effort. And I give so much credit to our success coaches. And like Stacy was saying, our employees, their network and getting in touch with the success coach. We actually had an employee right before Christmas whose home burned to the ground, and she had gotten the news, and I went over to go see her and I said, have you called Kiva? And all these other employees had already contacted Kiva. So they feel comfortable calling the success coach on behalf of another employee. And that's what the beauty of it is, because they all feel like that if there's a problem, our success coach can help.
And I think that's a true to life thing is if I have a challenge or a problem, I want to call somebody and know that somebody, some person can help me through this challenge. And I think to your point, while it's important to have access to resources, having access to someone who can really help specifically overcome a challenge. And let's face it, to your point, if someone's dealing with a challenge personally, that's going to carry over into their professional side. And so by equipping your team personally, you are helping your company professionally, because then they can thrive and be successful and really be an asset for your company. The more you can minimize those challenges in their personal life. And so, Stacy, carry that forward. What would your words of encouragement be for other businesses to be a part of this?
Jeremy, I would have to say that there is a financial piece, as Kathy talked about, in turnover, but the ability to make a difference. The ability to make a difference.
And when you care about your team, I think that's the biggest thing is this is an opportunity to care in a very personal way, to know that you can make a difference, because in many cases, you can get a little bit removed and you don't have a chance to see the challenges day in and day out, especially like on your end, Stacy, where your team is out at venues. So they're not in the office with you. You can't see the challenge that they're facing personally face to face. But knowing that they can have access to these success coaches, that you can help them and really be able to turn their life around in a big way by being a part of this, that's powerful. Walk us through what it means to be a company that's involved in this. So when you talk about the cost, when you talk about the obligation, what does that look like?
And so, Jeremy, what we did to make it reasonable for companies is that you have the ability to buy shares of time, blocks of time. And so if you have a larger organization, or if you feel you have a greater need, you as an organization could buy more blocks of time to have success coaches on property or available. So like Kathy, I believe you bought 2 shares too, didn't you? Just like we did. And because we have a larger employee base, we had a great need. We have some of our company members that only bought 1 share. And so that allows, when we do it by shares, that allows us to expand our resources. So as we invite more companies or more companies show interest, we're able to bring on more success coaches to be able to share that financial piece. But we are lean and mean, and we have no administrative overheads. We pour money into the organization to totally fund just that success coach, so that the funds go all the way out to meet those needs in our organizations. And so right now, we have 1.5. When we say Kiva, she's our full-time success coach, and we've got Coretta half-time, part-time right now. And so we look forward to adding more organizations. So 9 organizations have 1.5 success coaches right now. And as we add more organizations, we have the opportunity. We already have another success coach identified in the future. So all we need is some more organizations to raise their hand and say, hey, we want what you've got, and we're ready to take the plunge and have a success coach on our team. So really, it's an extension of us, where I couldn't afford to bring someone on full time to be that success coach. It allows me, as a small to mid-sized company, to have what you would consider major corporations have at their disposal. But I would have to argue that we're even better than that, because we have people that have been in the system and know all how it works in Memphis, Tennessee. It's not someone that has just the upper level knowledge or how to bring that to bear. It's those that have been in the trenches for years and know how Memphis works. And because they know how Memphis works, they can make it happen for our people.
Yeah. And there's also value in working with the different companies and being able to, kind of know, okay, this worked over here for this individual in this company, and I can take that best practice over here. So in other words, you can do a lot of information sharing, so to speak, that really becomes powerful to be able to help and leverage even more. So last question is where to go. So for companies to say, hey, I want to raise my hand, I want to be a part of this, the MidSouth Employee Resource Network, where do they go to learn more?
Google MidSouth ERN, and you will find us. We are, and you can also reach out to the member organizations. So if you called Dillard Door, they would be able to put you in touch with our success coach. And you could also reach out to Amanda Maness. Amanda, it can be reached at 901-683-0064. And she's chairman of our board right now. She can also be reached at amaness@smbystratos.com. So reach out to us if you want to know more. And then we're going to be having an event on the 28th of September. You could reach out to myself at smccall@smbystratos.com to get more information. And Kathy, I'm sure they could reach out to you if you'd like to give your contact information.
Sure. It's the initial K. The last name is Bradshaw at Trezevant, Trezevant Zevant, manor.org, or I can be reached at 901-515-2984. Love to tell you all about it.
That's the easy way, is go straight to the source. So Stacy, Kathy, thank you for all you do in the community. Thank you for coming on the show. Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeremy.